In the middle of prepping for what was no doubt going to be the largest video I've ever created, a mysterious box caught my eyes. No return address from what I could tell, and against my better judgment, I opened it anyway. A burst of red engulfed my eyes. It was Carmen Sandiego, someone I haven't seen since my childhood, but recently made a return to the spotlight to continue teaching kids where in the world Brisbane is. Let's see, a children's book, a lanyard. Maybe if I lost weight again, I could sort of pass for Carmen. A map of the world, a timeline of Carmen Sandiego's escapades, and I might be too old for this one. Utilizing the enclosed UV light, I was able to catch a hidden message from one of the evidence packets. Something's hidden in the box. Any reasonable individual would have long torched the box for safety at this point, but I was determined to commit to the bit. People do enjoy when content creators suffer, for better or worse. A gift from Gameloft, They released a new Carmen Sandiego in celebration of her 40th anniversary, and they'd like me to talk about it for a bit. While I do realize I might be a little old for this subject matter, I think back to when I reviewed Echo Jr., and the rest becomes easier. It's not exactly uncharted territory for me either. I used to play Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego all the time in middle school, way before the term iPhone was even a sparkle in your father's eye. It was one of the first computer games I ever played. Carmen Sandiego, a femme fatale with a big red hat and wonderful red coat that, with the help of criminal organization Vile, would steal precious artifacts across the world that required the player to work alongside Acme to eventually apprehend these vile criminals and maybe, just maybe, Carmen Sandiego herself. Heading into this new adventure elicited a feeling of uncertainty and yet nostalgia. The game came with two modes, a dedicated campaign mode and the Acme files. I decided the main campaign first, and soon I was introduced to Carmen herself and her trusted ally Player, which I assume, unfortunate. I was hoping it wasn't an alias. I would have firmly believed this guy's birth certificate read Player. In a twist from standard procedure, Carmen Sandiego is actually helping the forces of Acme, the agency to classify and monitor evildoers and apprehending criminals working for the returning Vile, the Villains International League of Evil, a major crime syndicate that operates across the globe and specializes in stealing prized historical artifacts. Together with the chief, who isn't immediately trusting of Carmen, and to be fair, I doubt there's many Amanda Waller would even trust to begin with, and Agent Hyde, who, if given the opportunity, would probably steal treasures for Carmen given how much of a fangirl she is of her. It's Carmen Sandiego's job to identify the culprit responsible within a certain number of days, utilizing clues and details learned from your worldly visits that can help you narrow down the list of potential suspects, each rocking names that wouldn't be out of place in Ace Attorney, one of my favorites being Elena Handbasket. Guilty or not, that name is just incredible. Facial details, hobbies, phobias, whether their hair is real. God, I remember hair. With enough of these details gathered as you play, you can pinpoint the exact culprit and issue a warrant for their arrest when you eventually find them. And you better make sure you do that too, because without a warrant, the criminal gets off scot-free if you nab them before doing so. Now, I'm not saying that happened to me, just take my word for it. You're mainly getting these details through good old investigation, visiting famed locations across the world, learning about the culture, chatting with the locals, and searching your surroundings for clues, eventually leading you to the whereabouts of these perplexing perpetrators, but sometimes it gets a little more involved. For sure, you got your moments where you're running around town trying your best not to look like a tourist while searching for clues, but sometimes you have to get up close and personal and snag items out of Vile operatives' back pockets without giving yourself away. Honestly, it's a miracle I can rub against this man's back pocket for this long without immediately giving myself away. I try that all the time on my brother, and all I get are strange looks. But sometimes, if they're on the run, you gotta chase them down with your grappling hook or use your trusty hang glider to zip to their next location. If the answer's not immediately visible, sometimes you have to whip out your fancy spy goggles and scan the environment for clues in the area. They look expensive too, I'm glad Acme could cover the costs. Your brain gets just as much a workout, requiring quick thinking to make crucial decisions that may either help you or waste valuable time. And some decisions require remembering previous details learned during the investigation to logically progress ahead. Some clues even require playing mini-games, cracking a safe any thief worth their salt can muster, I'm sure, or lighting up every panel with no overlap. Other times, you may need to remove all the cross-wiring here and make a neat and tidy circuit board. And while these all start simple at first, these eventually start rigorously testing your problem-solving skills like nothing else, requiring a healthy dose of logic, dexterity, and good decision-making to get through it. Just please refrain from asking me how long it took me to solve this one in particular. I can only handle so much embarrassment. With enough determination, Carmen and player can eventually gather all the intel they need to nab the perp for good. Criminals like Fast ADB or Paper Star may think they're the cream of the crop, but even they don't stand a chance against Carmen's daily workout routine. Good form. As you continue playing, you build up experience points, and the better you perform and the more thorough you are with investigations, you'll get additional bonus points. Seeing the rest of the campaign requires you to be at higher levels, and if you find yourself in need of some extra experience, you can try your hand with the Acme files, a mode that pays respects to Carmen Sandiego's classic days that comes complete with a retro interface and nifty pixel art. If you played a lot of the original games, you might want to consider trying this out to get your experience. As a stickler for classic pixel art, this is more up my alley, but I also still enjoyed the cartoonish aesthetic of the main mode, and with the DLC you even get things like a biker outfit for Carmen that doesn't come with a helmet. Unapologetically reckless, always wear a helmet when riding bikes, kids. Carmen is a bad influence. But to get serious for a moment, that's what I found most alluring about this game heading into it. The updated graphics and presentation are one thing, and overall this game looks good. It's bright, it's colorful, the model quality is great, and the music's pretty cozy and catchy. But these games, most of all, are learning experiences. Your ultimate goal is to nab criminals working for Vile, but you do this by visiting all these real-life locales and learning some interesting factoids about them. Carmen Sandiego, above all else, is educational entertainment, and I found myself engrossed in these history lessons the exact same way I found myself decades ago back in middle school. And even when I found myself completely stumped and used my phone to help with my investigation, I was still learning or relearning things that I didn't know about thanks to good old-fashioned research. Suck on that, ChatGPT. I bet it never played a Carmen Sandiego game in its life. And speaking strictly on my level of ability, if there's one thing the game was really good at highlighting, as I progressed and got to the more difficult things, it was clear there was a lot about our world that I just plain old forgot or didn't know about. But that's okay, learning things is supposed to be an adventure, one you can experience by yourself or for some extra fun. Play this with some friends and realize they're so much smarter than you are.
It's King Tut.
Yeah. See, I know King Tut, but I never knew Tut was short for something. Sure, at the end of the day, I think it's safe to say that I'm a little old for Carmen Sandiego, but I see this being a fun, interactive experience that's perfect for kids, or for those that, like me, also have fond memories of Carmen Sandiego from their childhood. It's imperative for me that education is made fun. If it isn't, it's harder to care about, to help focus and retain that new knowledge. And Carmen Sandiego, through globe-trotting and stepping into the shoes of the world's most famous thief, complete with all her high-tech gadgets and these neat minigames, is fun. So I like to take this time to thank Gameloft for letting me play their game. Unboxing this package was especially fun. Let's make some origami. Again, the crease. I'm folding origami in my late 30s. Into the pocket. And that's the best origami shuriken the Hispanic value can buy. You want the paper gummy? You want the paper gummy? You want the origami? You gonna look for Scott Shelby? Here you go. Okay. If you're interested in checking out Gameloft's brand new Carmen Sandiego adventure, you can get all the info you need in the description below. The game is out now, available in a standard digital edition and a deluxe digital edition, complete with added goodies like a digital art book, a digital soundtrack, and bonus cosmetic skins. Get it if you're a longtime fan of Carmen Sandiego, or if you want to get your kids something that'll not only give their brains a good workout, but also teach them more about the world we live in. Rediscover the thrill of solving mysteries with Carmen Sandiego. You can click the link in the description below or scan the QR code to start diving in. I appreciate your time and company, everyone. As always, thank you for helping support this channel, and I'll catch you guys in the Final Fantasy IX video. I hope it's been worth the wait.